Right, so it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by unbeaten junior middleweight Xander Zayas. Xander, how are you, mate?
Man, I'm doing amazing. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the minute you guys are giving me, and I'm excited. I'm excited for June 10th and ready to go.
We're excited too. It's the first time we've had you on the channel. You're almost a veteran in the sport at 20 years old. You've had 15 professional fights already. There's guys a lot older than you that haven't had that many. But let me take you back right to the very start and first getting into the sport back home in Puerto Rico. How much do you remember about that period?
Well, when I started, I started because I was a victim of bullying, and my mom decided to put me in boxing to learn how to defend myself. It was never like, okay, this is what he's going to do for the rest of his life. But little by little, I just fell in love with the sport. I fell in love with the dedication, with what it took to be better, to what it took to winning, and that just made me fall in love. And by the age of 11, 12, that's when I decided. I told my mom, hey, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is what I want to, make my job. I want to live off of this. And at the beginning it was okay, like he might change his mind. But then 16 came around, signed my first professional contract, and she's like, okay, this is really what he wants to do.
And how aware were you at that time, when you were still a young kid getting into the sport, of the history of boxing, particularly in Puerto Rico? You know, the likes of Benitez and Cotto and Trinidad and so on.
Being honest, I wasn't much into boxing at that age. I want to say I really started getting into it around 13, 12, 13. That's when I really started, okay, looking at fighters that used to, become or be world champion for Puerto Rico or in the world. I mean, the likes of Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather. I mean, all these guys I used to. That's when I really got into boxing and started watching it. Um, but before then, I wasn't a big fan. I was just doing it because I had a passion for it. It's what I like to do in my off time.
And you came to the US at the age of 11, I believe. What was it
Yes.
that brought your family over from Puerto Rico?
Well, the main thing that brought my family over from Puerto Rico was better opportunities, better education, better chances in my sport and in life, to just improve and become a better person. So I feel like that was the main reason why we decided to move from Puerto Rico to the U.S.
And from what I've read, you didn't speak any English at the point when you came over. How tough was that transition for you?
Oh man, at the beginning it was extremely tough. I was scared to, just make new friends. That was the main part for me. Obviously, not being able to speak the language, not being able to communicate with other people. But I think I got it down really quick. I want to say in around 4 or 6 months, I was able to at least speak it and have a regular conversation with somebody else. Obviously, with time, I've gotten better. I know I still have room to improve, but little by little, we're getting there.
How did you go about learning the language so quickly? Was it kind of the TV? Was it family members that were already in the US? How did you do it?
Well, the only place that I had to speak Spanish was my house. And to this day, the only place that I get to speak Spanish is my house. Everywhere else is English. I mean, when I used to go to school at the gym, I have to speak English. When I'm around my friends, I have to speak English. So it was forcing me to practice the language, to have to actually listen and be able to understand it and be able to speak it back to somebody. So that's what I feel like it really got me to, okay, I really have to put my mind into this to be able to communicate, because if I don't, then I'm not improving, I'm not becoming a better person, which was the goal at the beginning of, moving from Puerto Rico.
You signed a professional contract at just 16 years old. I know there was a lot of doubt about whether the Olympic
Yes.
Games, the next cycle, would take place or not because of the problems with the IOC and IEBA at the time. How tough a decision was that to decide, right, I'm going to leave that dream behind and I'm going to go into the pros early?
Well, at the time, it was really extremely tough because obviously I feel like as an athlete, not just as a boxer, as an athlete, I feel like it's a proud moment to just represent your country, just to go to the Olympics and represent your country. I would have loved to represent Puerto Rico. So I feel like it would meant a lot, just being able to go to Tokyo and put the Puerto Rican shirt and fight for my country. But at the same time, I knew that I wasn't going to make it because of the age. I had to be 18 to be able to qualify. I was going to be, I think, 4 or 6 months behind the schedule, so I couldn't qualify, and I did not want to wait for 2024. And then after what happened with the pandemic and stuff, I feel like it was the right decision at the time.
And why was it Top Rank? Was it anything to do with some of the great Puerto Rican fighters they've promoted in the past?
I feel like not just the Puerto Rican fighters, but just the history they have. I mean, Floyd Mayweather, Oscar de la Hoya, Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto. I mean, all these fighters, great fighters that now are promoters, they became champions under the umbrella of Top Rank. So that's just like, okay, if they can, they've been making champions for years, for decades. I mean, they started with Muhammad Ali. So just to be able to say, okay, I'm in the right company, and it's something that I always dreamed about. It's always the company that I always wanted to sign with. It was a dream come true.
And I read a quote from Bob Arum where he said he saw the potential in you to become a heavyweight world champion. I mean, you're still growing, presumably. You're 20 years old, so you've still got some filling out to do. But do you see yourself ever getting to heavyweight?
Man, I really see myself going into light heavy 175 in the future. And who knows? I mean, if there's a good fight, a heavyweight that I can take on, and it's the right business, the right fight at the time, might as well just go ahead and do it. But I don't personally see myself campaigning for a long time as a heavyweight.
In the immediate,
there's some big boys over there. I'm sorry.
In the immediate future, of course, you've got June the 10th at MSG, your first 10-rounder, but crucially, it's on the eve of the Puerto Rican Day Parade, famous annual event in New York City. You must be absolutely thrilled, especially as it comes so early in your career.
Oh, man, I'm excited. I've been to New York before. I fought in New York before, but this is my first time fighting in the Puerto Rican Parade weekend. So I'm really excited. I've had a lot of fans from Puerto Rico, from New York, from Florida that are flying out to watch me. And they just message me that they're excited. So it makes me excited. It makes me anxious to go out there and put on a show for them.
I have to ask, I'm a WWE fan or wrestling fan, as well as a boxing journalist. And we saw recently that WWE put on the Backlash event out in Puerto Rico. It's absolutely off the chain. Like the crowd was so vociferous. It was brilliant. How much of a dream is it for you to have a big kind of world title level fight back home?
Oh, man. And not just a world title fight, just any fight in Puerto Rico will mean the world to me. That's something that we're definitely working on. The company is looking for a way to get to the island, to put on a show for all the fans over there, for me, for all the fighters that they have from Puerto Rico signed to the company. But again, it's just a lot of politics that go into it, into making a show happen. But hopefully in the future, in the near future, very, very soon, we get to see me out in my island.
How do you feel about being tagged as kind of the successor to the likes of Trinidad and Cotto, being the next Puerto Rican hero?
Oh, man, it means the world to me. It means the world to me. It's a responsibility, but at the same time, I have to keep humble. I have to stay who I am, staying dedicated, keep winning fights, keep listening to my corner, and just keep having fun. Overall, I know that at the end of the day, I know what I want to do. I know what I want to accomplish in the boxing world. And little by little, I'm just 20 years old. Little by little, I will be able to accomplish that. And then the people will put that title on me if I deserve it.
And do you feel you can hold the weight at 54 to win that world title? Or do you think by the time you get to championship level, you might have pushed up a little bit?
No, I feel like I could hold 154. I mean, I make it easy. I have a great people working with me, with my nutritionist, perfecting athletes. I mean, they work with Shakur Stevenson, Buck Crawford. So they know what they're doing. They know they've been doing the cutting way and the business for a long time. So I feel healthy. I feel strong. And I feel like I will win a world title at 154.
How far away do you feel you are from that level? You've clearly got all the talent, but this is only your first 10-rounder, have to get used to the conditioning and the pacing side. How long do you think until you're up there challenging for those belts?
2024 is the year. 2024 is the year I want to be knocking on that door for a world title. Obviously, there's a lot of things that have to align. There's a lot of things going on outside of just the getting into the ring with the politics and all of that. But by 2024, I should be knocking on that door for sure.
And one man holds all the belts at 154 at the moment. It's Jamel Charlie, of course.
Yes.
What do you make of him and potentially an upcoming defense against Tim Tszyu?
Man, he's a great fighter. He's a great fighter. I mean, he's the undisputed champion for a reason. He's shown that he's a great fighter. He showed that he can adjust, that he's strong, that he can go 12 rounds if he needs to. And he has, again, Tim Tszyu is just another fighter that is going to come forward. He's going to put pressure just like Castaño did. And I feel like it's going to be a great fighting match because they both smart. They both have great corners, and it's going to be who's the smartest guy in there and who wants it more. I do have Charlo winning the fight, but I feel like it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
Who are your kind of top fighters at the moment that you either like to watch or that you rate highly in your pound for pound list? Who do you like from your peers?
Well, I do like from 154 or from any weight class?
No, from any division.
Any weight class. Okay. I want to say Tyson Fury, Canelo Alvarez, Bud Crawford, Shakur Stevenson. Let me see who else. Man, there's a lot of talent. Chocolatito Gonzalez is another one that I like. Myself, I have to include myself there. But those are fighters that I really like to watch and learn from.
Who's the best or the one you've learned the most from that you've sparred so far?
The best he's either got to be Robert Eastern or Daniel Jacobs. One of those two.
There's a real difference in weight there.
Oh, no, it is a real difference. Again, one of them is just speed and wanting to counter you. The other one is a lot heavier, a lot heavy-hander, and he just want to, hit you hard and get you to feel it. So I learned a lot from both of them, just being smart, being protective at all time, and just outsmarting your opponent.
Now, before I let you go, I do have to ask you your thoughts on this weekend's big fight. It's on the Top Rank show, of course, in Las Vegas. You've got the undisputed lightweight champion in Devin Haney defending against the multi-weight living legend, amateur star, just like you were, in Vasyl Lomachenko. What do you make of that clash?
Man, it's going to be a great fight. I feel like it's going to be an amazing fight. It depends on what Lomachenko shows up. If it's the Lomachenko that we're used to, where he's, using his angles and not staying in the middle, taking punches for no reason, it's going to be a very interesting fight. But I do feel like Haney has the youth, the speed, and just the ring IQ to get over him and beat him.
You talked moments ago about admiring Shakur Stevenson. A lot of people have speculated about a fight between him and Devin Haney if he comes through on Saturday. Who would you back in that?
Oh, man, Shakur Stevenson. I don't feel like there's nobody right now at 135 that could beat Shakur Stevenson. And that's a fact. I stand on it.
I hope he watches this. I'm sure he's a big fan of the channel, but I hope he watches this and sees the praise that is, very, very.
Man, he just the fighter, the IQ, the way that he can just break somebody down and just know that he's breaking somebody down, the defense, everything about it, the distance, he's just a great fighter.
And just finally, as it is the first time you've been on the channel, just tell the fans out there how they can find you on the different social media platforms and get a closer look at what's going on with you.
Man, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you guys can find me at Xander Zayas, XanderZayas. Find me there, and I hope you guys get in, enjoy my social medias and hop in the wagon.
And we'll be watching you, of course, on June the 10th. Chief supporting contest to Josh Taylor and Teofimo Lopez.
Sir.
Here in the UK, it'll be on Sky Sports, ESPN in the US. Can't wait. It's going to be a great night of action.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's going to be an amazing night.
Take care. Lovely to meet you.
Thanks.